Okay, welcome to this quick video on fats and their importance. And I'm hoping that you aren't under the illusion that we shouldn't be consuming fats, because if that's the case, then unfortunately you're very wrong. And fats play a huge part in our diet, and I'll go through the reasons why in this short video. Okay, so first of all, what is fat? Well, dietary fat provides energy and helps with nutrient absorption as well as brain and nerve function. So you can already see from that sentence alone, if you take nothing else from here, it's a fact that fat isn't just this weird thing that we consume too much of it and then become overweight. Yes, that is the case if we have too much of it, but we have to make sure that we have the right amounts in our body, and we'll dive into that a little bit further as I go through too. So there's two main types to be concerned with, and these are saturated fats and unsaturated fats. And we won't have to go into the sciences too much, but I just want you to understand that both have the benefits, just as both have their negatives too. You have to remember that fat is incredibly calorie dense per gram, so whereas protein and carbohydrates are of just 4 calories per gram, fat is 9 calories a gram, so it's almost double, well, sorry, it's just over double the amount of calories per gram, and so that quickly racks up if you're having some meals which are really high in fat. So why is fat important in itself though? Well, it provides a secondary energy source. So whereas carbohydrates are used first of all, and then proteins would be used too in a worst case scenario, fats are also used as energy, and they're also stored within the body as energy sources too. They're massively important for joint health. So if we don't have enough fat in our diet, so we need to have the right amount, but if we don't have enough, then our joint health will begin to deteriorate as well. And so essential fatty acids, or EFAs, are hugely important in our nutrition. They also serve us in making sure that our cognitive and nervous system health is up to scratch as well. And so again, if we don't have enough fat in our diet, then these will begin to drop off. And also we have to remember that fat is a huge tool in making sure that our hormones are doing what they need to do and being produced in the right amounts. And they help both with testosterone and also estrogen. And believe it or not, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, this is hugely important for either sex. It also helps with the health of our hair and nails as well. And then so purely from a looks perspective and the aesthetics point of view, nothing would make you feel worse than having really dull and damaged hair and nails which don't look very good and don't really have the level of health that you'd like them to have too. So it's even important for things like that as well. And also fat has certain types of vitamins in them which are also important to consume, which are vitamins A, D, E, and K. So also known as ADEK. So your fat soluble vitamins are also massively important. And whereas they don't need to be consumed each day, they should still be consumed fairly regularly. And then the body stores the rest within the body's fat storage as well. And then finally, it adds taste to otherwise bland foods. So how much should we be having? Well, we should be looking to have around about 20 to 30% of the calories that we consume each day coming from fats. And so to give you an example, if you require 2000 calories, you should aim to have between 400 and 600 calories coming from fat sources. And so just to give you an idea, that might seem like a lot, but again, as I mentioned before, because it's so calorie dense, you're only looking to have around about 44 to 66 grams of fat from their nutrition for this individual. And so what that means is a lot of the fat that we do require can come from our diet quite naturally, and by adding small amounts to our food just to bring up the right amount of fats and making sure that we're having enough in order to reap the benefits that we discussed briefly before. So we'll go through some quality sources quickly now. So some fat sources that we have here, and I'm sure you probably have heard of these, and if not, then obviously it'll be a good one to take on board. And you have things like avocados and cheese, dark chocolates, whole eggs, and more specifically the yolk. And the yolk as well is hugely important as it also contains the majority of the protein, believe it or not. Oily fish, so things like tuna and salmon, etc., and whatever else you may like that comes from the oilier fish side of things. Nuts, such as almonds and walnuts, but you have to remember that peanuts aren't actually nuts, they're actually a form of legume, which means that they're a bean. Then you've got things like seeds. Some beans actually do come under quality fat sources, and then finally you've got extra virgin olive oil as well. And then so in summary, so it's essential for bodily function. It is a form of energy that we can use when required. It's an essential source of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. and it's calorie dense, so you need to be incredibly careful and make sure that you don't have too much. And so, as I mentioned before, fats are very important in that if we don't have enough of them, then our health is going to deteriorate quite fast. So you don't need to have a huge amount in your diet, but you need to make sure that you're not cutting them out entirely, because chances are if you're going through having an extremely low fat diet, then you're going to be having things which are going to be high in natural sugars and sugar itself, which doesn't really have that much of a benefit to it either. So it's important to still have fat in the diet as well, to make sure that we reap the benefits of what fat can give our bodies.